Hey, you guys, it's I, the Psy, and I wanted to talk a little bit about botting again because I had a sad instance in my life here that just occurred, which forced me to go back to the bots for a little bit. I've been doing pretty much exclusively modern, modern for the past little while. I like how the SPS rewards are so much higher. But there were a few things I noticed where I had to go back to wild and just bought for a bit. I'll share with you guys a little bit of sad news here first. So first off, I know I told you guys last week that Nala was having some problems. Unfortunately, Nala's no longer with us. We had to put her down this week. We had to euthanize her. Her kidneys went into a major failure, and she wasn't eating for like 5 days. And the vet said it was best that we put her down. So unfortunately, Nala's no longer with us. And so I took a few days off Splinterlands. And yeah, it's pretty crazy, man, because Nala had actually been here. She was like my number one viewer of the streams, like on Splinterlands TV, like when that used to be a thing for the full 2 years. She never missed a single stream, and when I kind of started streaming again on my own, never missed a single stream. She was my number one supporter, my good girl, always there, just hanging out, listening to me ramble on. But yeah, unfortunately, Nala is no longer with us, my good little girl. Just a quick picture here for you guys. Here's a picture of my girl. Even this was like on the day she went to be euthanized and everything, still letting my daughter kind of, fool around with her, dress her up. And here she is doing her favorite thing like she used to, which is just kind of lie down on the deck, sunbathe. She was a really good girl. She had a good life. I mean, I'm super sad she's not with us anymore, but she really did have a good life, and she was loved by all. But unfortunately, she can no longer join us here on Splinterlands TV. And did force me to go into bot mode for a little bit because I just didn't feel like playing. Something like that happens. You just don't feel like playing. Remember her getting bumped in the stairs on her own? So I said, yeah, man, when she was like behind us, she got... I went, oh my god, it's a gold full Izzyar. She knocked over the coat rack. Yeah, that just happened. It's just a little while ago, and it's so crazy. She went so fast, man. Like 2 weeks ago, she was eating everything. She was just her normal self, and then a week ago, she pretty much lost 5 pounds, and then a week after that, she lost another 4 pounds, and here's what happened. But one of the things that I did notice here, when I did switch to botting, is first off, in modern, I've gotten like, if you take a look at my leaderboard here, look, I'm 40 wins out of 88 battles. So I've lost 8 more than I've gained here. I've been having problems even getting diamond chests, even getting like 7-8 diamond chests a day in modern. Like, I was struggling for it. And that's with like taking big losses, like a less than 50% win rate, and everything. When I went ahead and I switched to wild for a little bit, I suddenly came back and I was like, oh geez, I got 13 chests today. Like today I literally opened 13 chests with my kids from playing in wild. And the day before that, I think I opened 14 chests from playing in wild. And I was just like, how is this like I'm not getting any SPS, okay? Because this 2.187 SPS, for instance, 60% of that goes back to Xbot Lite, or whatever the worst Xbot token is. I owe it 60% of all my winnings. So, yeah, that's gone. But it's very interesting to me to think back to like some of the things that Royal Eagle had been saying when he's like, you know what? When there's a new player who shows up, I don't even recommend that they play in modern. I recommend that they play in wild with all the bots. So are the bots really that bad? Are they that bad? And the reason why I want to ask this, and it's not like you guys know that while I do use a bot in wild because it's allowed and stuff like that, I'm also very against bots in modern. But are bots that bad when you look at it contextually from the standpoint of, let's say you're a new player, right? And just like Royal Eagle said, are you going to go into the like cutthroat modern where basically the people who are in modern are like, yo, I'm in modern because I get a win and I'm getting like 8, I'm getting 10 SPS per win. You know, instead of my 2 per win in wild, I'm getting 5x the SPS, and that's probably about to turn into like 10x the SPS. Let's face it. After this update that comes on April 2nd, when the SPS is no longer available in chest and it's all battle rewards, like I can see this jumping to 20 SPS instead of it just being 10. I can see this doubling again. And now you're getting 20 SPS, and maybe on the other side in wild, you'll be getting like 3 SPS or something like that. But you'll probably be getting 20 SPS in modern. But when the rewards are that high and the competition is that fierce, do you want to send a new player in here to the Wolves, or do you want to send them where it's so easy that bronze bot that I have, like you guys saw, Slunchy's bronze bot is in gold, you know, sending the new players into matches that they can easily win with lots of match liquidity. Like if I accidentally press wild here, which I'll go back to modern, like if I were to accidentally press wild, I'd get a battle right away. There'd be no waiting for a battle. There'd be no like ha looking at my watch waiting for someone to come and pick it up. No, it'll just happen. And you know, for those 2 or 3 days, probably around 3 days when I didn't play, the day before, the day she kind of got euthanized, the day after, it still allowed me to collect a bunch of like chests, you know, which was nice. I wasn't playing and I was getting more chests than I get if I were to actually play the game. Now, was it getting anywhere near the SPS? Absolutely not. Like I said, this 1.926 SPS, I'm actually only getting 40% of that, so I'm getting like 0.8 SPS, and that's it. But from the standpoint of, did I find the bots actually kind of helpful for those 3 days I was away? I mean, I did. And I was pleasantly surprised with how many chests I earned and how easy the battles kind of were. Like, I mean, they were not the most difficult battles for someone who is like, you know, somewhat prepared. You know, like, oh my gosh, this guy had a red dragon 4-star. All right, so I shouldn't say they're like chumps or anything like that, you know. But if you've got even like if it's like a magic only, and you own a prismatic energy, you're probably going to win against someone who doesn't have those kind of cards. You know, against someone who's got 0 wild cards, and I've got a few. I've got a few that I consider key, like the prismatic energy, for instance. So some of the things that kind of like got me rethinking about bots, and this has been happening for a while because I've been using like bots as kind of like it's kind of like a huckleberry is the way I'll phrase it, because that one movie Tombstone, right? It's kind of like a huckleberry of, you know what? I'm one chest short. Like last week, remember? I was one chest short getting 69 seasonal chests. And I was like, you know what? I'm not willing to play that because I know what'll happen is I'll lose out on being in Champion 2. I'll lose like 3 games in a row. I'll be put back down to Champion 3 for the end of season reset. So instead, I'll just turn on the bot to play in Wild. And look, I did get that sweet 69th chest from just like turning on Wildbot, you know? So, I mean, it was nice to be able to do that and get that 69th chest just by turning on my bot. And as you know, I've got 2 other accounts that I bought and stuff like that as well. But I mean, they're just like little chump accounts. I've got nothing really positive to say about them, aside from the fact that hopefully when cards are unlocked, I'll be able to get a cheap way for me to max a few of the legendary cards that I don't have maxed yet. Like I don't even have a reflection shield on my red guy, my Keldon Warlord or whatever his name is. I don't even have a reflection shield on that guy. That's how behind I am with some of my cards, you know? So a few of the things I've noticed here, I mean, it does offer great match liquidity. Let's face it. Like I was saying in Wild, because of all the bots that are in there, and if we were to go and look, we can see that it's literally like 10x, 20x or something like that, the number of bots, right? So we had 14,000 games played versus 32, so it's 20x. So there's 20x the games being played right now in modern or in Wild versus modern. All right. So match liquidity through the roof. I know if I press battle, I'd find someone to play with, right? On top of that, easier to get chests. You know, I had no problem getting 13, even 14 chests. They were diamond chests at that point. Just going ahead and letting my bot do its thing, you know? And it provides a place to put your extra cards. Like, that's another thing about the bot. Like, I've had running Silence 3 and Silence 2 for a while now. And like I said, it just gives me a place where I can go and I can take my cards. I'll show you guys here. Silence 2. It's my better one. and put them. Otherwise, these cards would pretty much be going on the market, right? Like, I mean, that's the other option. Like, either I take these guys and I use them properly and I put them into another account, or these cards go on the market because, I mean, what use do I have for them? Especially now that I need to consolidate, right, these two accounts that I have into one. Like, what am I going to do with these extra cards? You know, I'm going to get maybe one of those accounts up, maybe none of them. Maybe I'll just end up getting rid of everything if I can't make it to a position when I can allocate enough SPS to actually have meaningful rewards again at the level that the decks attain. You know, so it's just so many factors go into my choices on what to do with the cards. And I'll bet that if I couldn't bot in Wild, that these accounts, Psi 3 and Psi 2, would just disappear and I just get rid of the cards on it. Because why else? Like, I'm not going to end up renting out a one-star Agor. There's no, like, rental market, really, for a one-star Agor. You need to get it to at least, you know, a 2-star or a 3-star to really have it earn anything back. Unless you're like, oh, I want to make, like, 5 SPS or 5 DEC a day. I'm happy with that. So that's another thing, too, is it goes and it stimulates the rental market. All right, because that's another thing. Like I was talking about previously, I was like, oh, you know what? Our rentals were at like 400, 500, and now it's at like 700, 800 a lot of the time. And like I said before, like CDU 17 or DC 002 or Ding 990 or WSO or LJHKLG and VWAN 94, those aren't human accounts. So, I mean, in fact, I'd almost go so far as to say, like, the only people that rent, at least right now, like Agnostic Front, he might be a real human, I guess, right? There's a couple real humies. But I'd still say the majority of these guys that are renting right now are also bots, you know? So the bots are the ones that are providing the match liquidity. The bots are the ones that are providing the, like, easy wins within the match liquidity, which is going to give new players something to beat on. You know? And they're also the ones doing all the rentals and renting. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Bots are bad in the places where they shouldn't be. So, I mean, bots in Modern, absolutely awful, right? Like, against the TOS, destroy the game experience for everyone else. But, I mean, bots in Wild, I know that we want to get rid of it. Me, personally, I'm of the mind of create a third league, right? So you end up having human Modern. Then you'd have Human Wild, which I'm pushing for Legacy, for it to be called Legacy. So then you have Modern, you have Legacy, and then you have Wild. Like, I'd love to see a split up of 3 forms, but I know right now we don't have the match liquidity for it. I brought it up with Matt, and he said that it could be an alternate solution, you know, from one of the town halls when he answered the question. I even did a whole, like, hype post on that as well. You might recall the 3-league solution. You can go look it up on my YouTube channel if you want to. When you're done. But the 3-league solution, which would be creating a bot-free Wild, which has a lot of other benefits in it as well. But completely getting rid of bots, I don't think I'm actually for that anymore. I thought that I was for it, but I don't think I am for it now, just because of all the benefits that I see. Straight up, I see a bunch of benefits. Like, I know, hate me and stuff like that, but I mean, I can live with 3 formats and the bot's still getting something. They do provide a valuable service. Hey, look! It's my wife! Hey, Amanda. You want to say hi to everyone? Oh, thank you. Don't want to go on camera. So my wife says hello, but she doesn't want to be on camera. All right, let's see what Birds and Bees is saying. I played from 0, Silver, and Modern last night. The most fun I've had in the game since I started. Tournaments are free right now. Did you and everyone else know this? I like the free play and hate the payout spots. Yep, so I did also know this. I have gone ahead and I've entered a few of these new tournaments that were free. I should say entered at least, like, I enter them when they're closer to when they're going to fire. But I just entered the Scarhand Silver Cup, and it was free entry, and I went 6-4. And I'm probably going to end up getting 14 SPS out of it. So, I mean, I'll take it. Still 14 free SPS, and I got to have fun. Because sometimes I find myself not wanting to play manually. Depending on where I am and what my number of chests I've earned to energy level where that's sitting, because that's important, because I like to only use 24 a day if possible. So I'm at max for the next day in case I need to use a little bit more. And I've saved some energy for us in case we're going to be doing some, like, either, in case we're going to be doing some ranked play. But kind of getting back to, like, the bot story, like, I can actually see that there's a use for bots. I see it. I see why some people are pro-bot and why some people are anti-bot and everything. But I think from my perspective, I'm kind of in the middle. And I do appreciate a good bot here and there. For those reasons that I stated, which is, again, match liquidity, easier to get chests, place for new players to play, does a lot of the renting, and provides a lot of the rentals. And I mean, it's also just gone ahead and it gives you a place where you can put your cards, right? Especially if you're a big investor and you've got a bunch of cards and you're like, hey, I don't know where to put these cards. Hey, I'll just go and I'll just create an account and I'll just bot that account. Better than selling them. Because like I said, if it didn't exist, if I couldn't bot in Wild, then, I mean, it's already hard enough work. You guys all know. It's already a hard enough grind just grinding one, like, upper league account. Let alone, what am I going to do? Grind 3 of these? Even grind 2 of them? Like, I could see myself consolidating my 2 bot accounts into 1 bot account and still botting that 1 account, but I cannot see myself even playing 2 accounts. And I know that Charles FTWs of the world are like, hey, it's only 2 accounts, I do 10, but I got other things in my life, you know? I can't just be playing all day, every day. So what I mean, you have to compare this as well to what Modern is offering right now, right? So Modern, like I said, offers obviously fantastic SPS rewards. Here I am getting 8, 10, 10, 10. You know, it's pretty much like an easy 10 SPS per win, which is, like I said, 5x over Wild. But to me, it's actually more than that. It's actually 10x over Wild because I'm paying out 60%. Whenever XBot wins. So, I mean, this is like cutthroat though. Like I said, looking at the leaderboard, I'm at less than 50%, right? And I mean, that's another thing that I can think of, like when I was talking about this here, right? And we're talking about why are there so many fewer players that are now playing in Modern. Like I said, I'm not surprised if it was literally a lot of people consolidating accounts because of what we saw with Silence 2, Silence 3, The Machine, and Slunchy, that now since you can't stop at a league and you're constantly forced to move up, you got to have the SPS staked or else they're forcing you to move up into a realm where you're not earning anything because you don't have the staked SPS, right? You could still be winning, but you're not earning anything on those wins, which kind of defeats the purpose of having them run if you're not even able to earn a chest that could have a Soulbound card in it. Your account's just running. It's like it is match liquidity is basically what that account turns into, right? It just turns into match liquidity. So another reason why I think that like matches could be going down in Modern is because, again, it's hard. Modern is hard when you're making your 20 cents or your 25 cents USD per win. Like, Modern's hard. And part of the difference why I'm probably going less than 50%, part of the difference is let's assume that that all my opponents aren't using Battle Helper. Okay, let's assume that it's human to human right now. If I've got these accounts, these silver accounts running, or I guess now they're gold accounts running in Wild, those accounts don't care if they win or lose. They don't care. They can lose 9 out of 10 games and just be happy to have won one game, you know? But meanwhile, when I am playing Modern, I want to win and I don't like to lose. And I think that that's the general sentiment of any one of us who plays this game. Like, when you are playing, I'm not sitting here playing in Modern with all my cards with the hope that I lose, right? That's my objective, is to win. And if everyone that's here on this screen now, all these top 100 players, all these people, they're all in it to win it, like, you would think that they're all going to have good decks. And again, that's something else. You'd think that everyone who had bad decks would have consolidated their decks into also being good decks. I think that makes perfect sense. Skip gaming is the key, but that just cut the fun in the game. Yeah. I always watch every battle. I'll be honest, I watch every battle. I don't skip anything. So just like to finally conclude on this, okay? So we were talking about like some Modern bots and stuff like that. We were talking about Modern play, we were talking about Wild play, we were talking about the bots and everything like that. But I think that honestly, the best way and some of the people who are in Discord say this as well. The best way to get new players is to show them the value that you get out of your win. And that's why, in a lot of ways, I think that honestly, the best way that we can get more players to play this is to show them after the reward rework that, hey, when I'm getting a win here, I'm actually making like 19, because again, it's no longer, the SPS will no longer be in chest. I'm actually getting 19 SPS a win. I'm getting like 50 cents USD a win in SPS, right? And then you need that SPS to be staked in order to win that 50 cents, which in doing so might increase the cost of SPS. And now you're getting still the same 19 SPS, but now that's worth like 5 cents per SPS. So now that's worth like $1 instead of 50 cents because it's worth 5 cents, you know? And then being able to say, hey, you get $1 every time you win a match, like that's going to be a huge incentive to get people here into Splinterlands, you know? You just have to make sure that Modern just pays so much more than Wild that it removes that advantage that you get right now from playing in Wild, which is the fact that you can earn like chests so quickly and rapidly and, you know, good match liquidity, and hey, people are easier to beat down. So you have to counter that with what are you offering from Modern to make it more worthwhile for me to head into the trenches with my less than 50% win rate, where I'll earn less chests overall every day, and I'll earn less like seasonal reward chest, because I mean, that's everything's going to go up more slowly. What am I getting for trading going into Wild, for buying these Modern cards and for playing in Modern and pounding my head into the brick wall that is the competition in Modern, you know? And the answer has to be, it has to be worthwhile from a reward standpoint for you to play in it. And I honestly feel, guys, that we're going to be going from, like I said, 10 SPS a win to 20 SPS a win. Or like, I think that that's almost like a minimum once we do that reward chest. Because don't forget, 20x the battles happening Wild right now, which means 20x the chests that have rewards in them that are coming out of the Modern pool. I honestly think like we're going to see such a huge, on April 2nd, we're going to see such a huge increase to the SPS that people are going to say, you know what, it's worth it for me to buy Modern cards and play in Modern because of how much SPS you win in a battle. Like it's going to be, like, I really hope I'm not wrong about this, guys, but I think it's going to be crazy, like crazy amount of SPS once it happens. Showing champion wins isn't really going to help the majority of new players. Yeah, of course not. Like I said, you have to be able to win at bronze level. It's going to go for everyone at Modern, I think. It's going to go for everyone at Modern. Is going to experience like this huge influx, you know? And I'm not in champion. I'm in diamond. I can't make it to champion anymore. I'm not good enough to play in champion anymore. So like I'm diamond 1. I am diamond 1, but I can't make the champ. And everything gets kind of cut down anyway right now, right? If you take a look at leaderboard, you take a look at Cavanti's, you take a look at his battles, his winning, he's only getting 14 SPS, and he's up at the very, very top. So they have to fix that as well, because right now the promise of you getting so much more for being higher placed, I mean, I don't think that's really following through. Getting 50% more than me and being at 5,000 rating. I know they cap it. They're going to have to up that cap. In my opinion, at least, they're going to have to up that cap. And that's really what's going to draw people in. Like, if you're saying, no, sir, you're still capped at 15 after everything happens, like, no, he should be making his 30 SPS per win after the changes, and then being able to say, like, yo, I'm getting like 75 cents or something like that, or 70 cents per win, you know, which would be attractive, like I said. I know it's from the top. We're not talking bronze or whatever like that. But no one needs to join this game anymore and be like, my goal is to stay in bronze. You know, it's not the way this game works anymore. There is no like bronze league. It's, I want to work my way up as far as I can to earn the better rewards. And if all I can get to is silver, then I really hope that the number of people playing in silver and at my rank isn't completely draining the reward pool, and that there's enough left for all of us. But like I said, if I'm seeing the top champ player getting 14, and if my lowly butt over here is still getting 10, and I've got such a lower stake than him, I guarantee that my SPS is much lower stake Then I mean, they're gonna have to A, change this up, but B, there's got to be a lot left for everybody. Jay Daniel says, I can't get the champ. There's so much Mantaroth and Grimbardoon. I have Mantaroth and Grimbardoon both maxed, and I still can't get the champ. Like I said, I don't know if I want to say, oh, it's battle helpers and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just, like I said, the competition is hard. It's not easy anymore because you're facing humans and humans don't want to lose. And not only that, but like I said last time, people are grinding to get to the top because after this new reward change on the 2nd of April happens, it is going to be lucrative at the top. Like I said, I don't doubt this doubling. The SPS rewards, I don't doubt it doubling when we're getting our fair share, like a true 50% of the SPS, not losing half of the reward SPS to wild in their chests. More than half, I should say. An extra 19/20ths, whatever it ends, right? So yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of a chat about bots. Well, maybe they're not the worst thing, you know, and a little bit about the modern leaderboard as well, and about the state of modern, and I guess the state of wild. So if you guys like that, make sure to drop a like, share, subscribe, whatever you're supposed to do. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, side to side. Take care, my friends.